Hello everyone and welcome back to Building Nations. We are working again in the Dwarven area today, and we are going to make what's behind me look a bit better. And what's behind me isn't the entrance, it's actually this back wall. Yeah, not doing that yet, because it's probably going to be difficult. But I do want to get this wall worked out, figure out what I'm going to be putting back here. I think I said a lion originally, but I think a lion is actually also kind of generic and boring. Like everyone does a lion, you know? I want to be a bit more interesting with the thing that I build in the back there that's going to be looked at all the time. So, gotta think of something that is a bit more interesting. And I'm not sure what that something is, but I do have a couple of ideas. I'm thinking like a crocodile. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking crocodile. You know, you don't see a lot of crocodiles in dwarven areas, but that's okay. Uniqueness is good. You want to be unique. And I think a crocodile is a good way to be unique because there aren't crocodiles in most dwarven areas. So, crocodile. The only problem with a crocodile is it would be hard to build, for one, but that's a small disadvantage. The real problem is that building a crocodile, they're not very tall height-wise. So if you're looking at it from a distance, right, like you're back here, looking at a crocodile, it would probably just look like a circle or something. So I could do an open mouth crocodile. That's true. But then it would just look like Jaws. And at that point I might as well make it like a shark or something, you know? We don't really need it to be a full-on crocodile if it's just gonna look like a shark. So, crocodile is gonna be off the table. It was a good idea. It was a good idea. And good ideas are the foundation of the better ideas. So, now that we have our foundation established, we need to create something better. And what's better than a crocodile? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I have to think about it. But what I do know is that this is not enough room. As this 5 blocks across, that's not enough space. What I can do to give myself more space is remove some of this framework. Not all of it. Well, actually, probably, yeah, just all of it. I might move it, but I do definitely want to get rid of it, especially the ones right here. Because I feel like this will limit my options a lot. So I don't want to have those there. And this already looks like way more space, even though I just took out 2 blocks. So, yeah. That's that. I just need an animal. And the animal, it will be made out of cobblestone. Whatever animal I choose. I just don't know what animal that will be. That's the tough part. I don't know. Good animal suggestions. Maybe I can look up a random animal generator. That's an idea. Hang on, give me a second. Alright, so I used a random animal generator. A lot. Really, I should have only clicked it once, but that would have been too much effort for me to try and do. Because I think the first one I got was like Impala or something. And I was just like, that's kind of hard. So, I picked something that's probably equally as hard, but funnier than an Impala. And that was a ferret. I think it was either a ferret or a weasel. It was a weasel. Sorry, not a ferret. My bad. It's a weasel. So, I'm going to be building a weasel here. And the weasel will be the animal of this dwarven city, which is still as yet unnamed, but maybe I'll name it after their weasel, like Weaselopolis or something, but that's a lame name, so it won't be that. But anyway, now I have to figure out how to make a weasel here that doesn't extend too far in front of this 5 blocks, but that's still visible from here. Also need to know how high up to make it, because I do want a throne here. I don't know how high the throne is going to be, but probably like there. 8 blocks, 9, I'll add 10. Just for safety. So the weasel will probably start like here-ish. This is my weasel. He goes Pop. His name's Pop? Well, I mean, if his name's Pop and he sounds like a Pokemon, so the only thing he can do is say his name. So his name's Pop, that's all he can say. Pop goes the weasel. Anyway. time to figure out how to make this, I guess. Alright, well, the first question that I asked myself when building this is, how do I build a weasel? Because, I mean, it's a pretty important thing to know when trying to build a weasel. So, I did what anyone should do, and I phoned a friend and asked him, hey, do you know how to build a weasel? He's like, no? So, that was a shame. Couldn't get his help, but I did eventually manage to create that beautiful thing. It's so funny. I love it so much. And I also named it the Weeratink because it's like a weasel, a ferret, and a mink because they all look very similar. If you've never seen a weasel, a ferret, or a mink, or all three, just look at them. They look like the exact same. So I named it the Weeratink, and that will also be the name of the city, just because I think Weeratink is a good city name, and it reflects one of their animals, which is a bonus. Also, this throne exists, and it looks pretty cool. Alright, well, now that this thing, this beautiful, lovely thing has been created, it is time to start work on what I actually wanted to really accomplish this episode, other than this, is the floor of this room, and probably the entry path floor as well, though it'll probably just be 5 blocks, maybe 7 blocks wide, not entirely sure yet on that, but I do want to get a floor in here to kind of match this style, just so that we don't have this being only stone, and then this being super ornate, detailed flooring, although the ceiling will of course be just solid stone. Anyway, it's time to get working. Alright, so for this floor, the first thing that I really wanted to do is to kind of separate out the pillars, just to kind of make them unique and not blend into the floor too much, ideally. So I went with like a stone slab ring around the outside, just because it adds contrast with the pillar, and it looks different from like the surrounding area, I guess. That was the idea. I noticed that there was also like an even spacing, like center-wise, between all the pillars. So I took the same thing from the mine, like this 3x3 pattern, and I put it here. But I was able to actually use it how I was originally going to in the mine, like this, rather than how it actually ended up going in the mine, where there was like 2 block spacers in between each 3 block segment. So that was kind of weird. I also used World Edit to copy and paste the design, so that saved me a lot of time. um, really made it easy. And then the next part is to just use something around the pillars to connect them to the path. I also managed to lose footage of this, so we're going to jump very soon to the immediate finished product because I lost footage. And there you go. That's it. There's lamps in there for lighting, but other than that, the detail is just like what you'd expect pretty much. There's some stairs and stuff, but it's nothing really too difficult to like comprehend like how I did it. So there's that. I also started to work on this and then realized that I needed more of a foundation here to be able to put in the floor. So let's do that. Alright, now that this beautiful floor has been completed and very well lit, nice and bright in here, though this area is still really dark. But oh well, 0 light level, that's fine. No, that didn't hurt anyone anyway. But anyway, I think it's time now to do the entrance here. And this will be interesting. I'm not sure how exactly I'm gonna do it, but I'll think of something. I just need something not too difficult. Well, I mean, difficult's a relative term, but it'll be like probably similar to the walls in design, right? Like a 5x5 of stone brick, but not encroaching on the pathway. So this actually needs to be like here, like right there. So on both sides of this 7 blocks, and then it will kind of just go up and around. It'll look like that. I might put like a sloped roof on top of it, but the overall shape is just going to go like this. The only issue is this side of the mountain is further forward than this side. So if I do towers, one's gonna have to either go into the mountain, which is gonna be annoying, or one's gonna have to come out of the mountain, and then I have to build the mountain around it. And I think I'm just gonna build it into the mountain. I don't want to, but really I think it's the best option that I have, so I'm gonna go with it. And I can clear out space really easily, obviously, using World Edit, so I can save myself some time there. Um, I don't know how tall I'm gonna make this or any of that, so I'll just have to see how it turns out in the time lapse. Alright, probably the most important part of any city or kingdom is the main gate. It's like what everyone sees of the kingdom, it's what everyone wants to see. It's all that, super important, so it should be really big and impressive. And this is not really that big, but it is pretty impressive looking once you see the finished product. Um, yeah, I mean, I probably could have gone with a bigger scale if I had started this originally, like with the, like before even building any of the inside, if I had made the entrance, I probably would have made it bigger. But I have the size here and I like it. It's not too big, so it doesn't like overpower the mountainside. Like you can still tell that very clearly this is built into a mountain, and that's like the foundation for how it exists. But it's not too big to where you can't like see that, you know? It's not too small anyway, like to where I can still detail it and it still looks impressive. Um, so that's kind of why I like it so much. The size, I like it. I think it's good. I decided to go with the smooth stone for the roof segment area, just to get some more contrast in between the stone, and I think that looked pretty good. I did detail to it, and I added the little lamps and lanterns and stuff, and those look really good. The depth that they give is so nice, and I really like looking at it. I like looking at it a lot more than I otherwise would. Um, Some ideas that I have for like the inside though, when I look at a lot of these entrances like online, they all have like statues and stuff. So I'm probably gonna put some statues in the entrance hall, like in that area. Like in the space before the main hall, there's gonna be like a smaller hall with statues in it. And I think that'll look pretty good, so that I can put statues in it. Maybe there'll be statues of Weeratinks. I don't know. But I want to get some statues in it, just to really hone the dwarven feel. Alright. That did not take nearly as long as I thought it was going to, so that's a plus. I mean, yeah. I really like the way that this looks, actually. Like, I think it's really cool. I was looking up, like, inspiration on Google, and all of the, like, Dwarven Kingdom entrances that I saw were, like, massive. Like, all of them were the size of this whole mountain, pretty much. And they kind of discouraged me a bit, because I'm like, oh, I already have this entrance entirely set up, based around the fact that it will only be this big. Like, I'm not making it any bigger. Also, I didn't detail these like an idiot. Should have. Didn't do that. I will eventually, but probably not until next episode. Except next episode we're building something else. I don't know what it'll be yet. Leading comment right now, I think, is a Cyclops with a big club. I think. I think that's the leading comment right now. We'll see if that's the same comment that I get, that wins next week. But that's what's in the lead right now. Anyway, I like the way that this looks. The detailing is really interesting. Because, I mean, my standard detailing would just be this, like the stuff in the middle here. But then I'm like, wow, this thing looked kind of boring. How can I make it not look kind of boring? So I added these things, uh, just to add way more depth to it. And I think partially also because of how far the roof extends, it works really well. Because, like, the roof is still the farthest thing away from the wall, but all the other stuff just kind of seems to naturally, like, fit underneath it. And it just looks really nice overall. And I'm happy with this. I like it a lot. I do still need to fix this beam. That should be an arch like this one. Detail these insides, and obviously do this entire thing, which will be 2 episodes from now, probably. I will take this on. But for now, I'm going to leave this here. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy, leave a comment on any feedback you have for me, and I'll see all of you later. Bye.